I care about being real, not looking young. These words weren't spoken by a philosopher or a poet. They came from a man who once wore a chicken costume just to survive in Hollywood. A man who later became one of the most recognizable faces on Earth. Imagine having everything: wealth, fame, adoration, yet feeling completely empty inside. Picture being so beautiful that the world obsesses over your appearance, yet so broken that you can't look at yourself in the mirror. This is Brad Pitt's story. Not the glossy magazine version, but the raw, unfiltered truth of a man who had to lose himself completely before he could find his way back. What makes someone walk away from success? What drives a person to sabotage their own happiness? And how does someone rebuild when they've shattered everything they've built? Born in Oklahoma in 1963 and raised in Missouri, Brad grew up in a strict household where emotions stayed buried. His father demanded strength. Weakness wasn't tolerated. This childhood would shape his entire life, his relationships, his demons, his triumphs. 2 weeks before graduating with a journalism degree, Brad made a decision that shocked everyone. He dropped out. With just $325 in his pocket, he drove to Los Angeles, chasing a dream he'd never dared speak aloud. Hollywood wasn't impressed. Brad handed out flyers, delivered refrigerators, and even wore a chicken costume outside a fast food restaurant. Each audition ended the same way: rejection. "You're just a pretty face," they said. But Brad persisted. Then came 1991's Thelma and Louise. 7 minutes of screen time that changed everything. Suddenly, the world couldn't get enough of Brad Pitt. Those 7 minutes launched him into a stratosphere few ever reach. Fame came at a devastating price. "Fame is a monster," Brad once said. "It looks beautiful, but it eats you slowly." The paparazzi stalked his every move. People magazine named him sexiest man alive twice. The world wanted his face, his hair, his abs, but nobody asked if he was okay. Behind the scenes, Brad was crumbling. He turned to marijuana and alcohol, not as addiction, but as escape. "I was hiding out," he admitted. "I was wasting time." His relationships became tabloid fodder. The engagement to Gwyneth Paltrow, the marriage to Jennifer Aniston that ended amid rumors of his attraction to Angelina Jolie. The public took sides. Team Jen versus Team Angie. Brad stayed silent, but inside, he was drowning. With Angelina, Brad became father to 6 children, 3 adopted, 3 biological. "I finally felt like a man," he said. They traveled to war zones, built hospitals, and seemed like the perfect humanitarian power couple. Then in 2016, it all fell apart. The separation was public, messy, painful. There were reports of arguments, excessive drinking, even child protection investigations. Brad later admitted, "I was drinking too much. I hurt people I love." Rock bottom became the foundation for Brad's rebirth. He entered therapy, quit alcohol, and faced the childhood wounds he'd spent decades running from. He realized he'd spent his entire life trying to be strong, to please his strict father, to be what Hollywood wanted: handsome, charming, perfect. Inside, he'd been scared, lonely, never feeling enough. He had suffered from depression for years, just drifting through life, smiling in interviews while feeling empty when the cameras stopped rolling. The healing came in unexpected forms. Brad began sculpting metal in his garage. He took up pottery. He read philosophy. No cameras, No audience, just hands, nettle, and focus. I'm making art because I need silence, he explained. At 60, Brad Pitt has evolved. He wears loose linen clothes, attends art shows, and avoids loud parties. His net worth exceeds $400 million from acting, producing, and real estate investments. But his lifestyle is deliberately simple. Brad Pitt isn't just a movie star. He's a symbol of what it means to fall, break, lose everything, and still choose to rise again. He had money, beauty, fame, but also pain, loneliness, and regret. He made mistakes. He hurt people. He ran from his feelings. But then he stopped. He looked in the mirror and said, "I can't live like this anymore." And that was the moment his real story began. What can we learn from Brad Pitt's life? 1. It's okay to fall. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is if you stand back up. 2. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. Brad was flawed, broken, and still became legendary. 3. Success means nothing if your soul is empty. Find your peace, not just your paycheck. 4. Healing takes time, but it's never too late. Brad found his true self in his 50s. 5. Being honest with yourself is the most powerful decision you'll ever make. If you're feeling lost, tired, or not good enough, remember, Brad Pitt was once in a chicken costume delivering refrigerators. Rejected, heartbroken, addicted, judged, and misunderstood. But he kept going. He chose growth. He chose healing. And so can you. You are not your past. You are your next decision.